All right, here's another short version of a class. It's only about 13 to 15 minutes long. I'll start you with a warm-up just in case you choose to do this one on its own rather than following the previous video that I've done. Big breath in. So we'll do sun salutation each side and then right into the postures. Step back, high plank, down we go, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, walk it in. Big breath up, exhaling down, step back, high plank, down into chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and walk it in. Take a big breath up. Exhale. And we're going to start with chair pose. Arms out front or end at heart center. Your feet can be right tight together, or if you choose slightly apart, it's up to you. You want to make sure that you can see your toenails by looking straight down, not by leaning over. And again, you want to try and get those shoulders behind the knees. Back is flat, legs are strong, glutes are strong, and there'll be a little bit more weight in the heel of your feet rather than the ball of the foot. Take your arms back and up. Back. Now this is an option. You can stay with your hands at heart center if you prefer. So here, or even here, rather than using the arm movement. It is totally up to you. One more. And all the way up. Big breath. Exhale and down. Now take your feet wide and down into yogi squat. Now you decide if you can get this low. If not, then you get to come up here or wherever is best for you. We're going to try those 3 jumps. Ready? And go. Up. Inhale. And exhale. Bring the hands to the floor and step way back, starting in high plank. Now I want you to turn right into side plank if it's possible. Now remember, you can go to your knees. You can go to your elbow with your feet. It's up to you which one you choose to do. Keep that breath going and then transfer it back to center and over to your other side. Whoops. Keep that breath going. And bring yourself back to center. Now, if you cannot bring yourself back straight to center, go down onto the floor, turn, and take yourself back to a lift. From low plank, push yourself to dolphin. Slowly bring yourself back down. And return to dolphin. Back to plank, and up to dolphin. Return to plank. Bring your knees in, hands in, up on all fours. Bird dog, picking up your right hand and left leg without the shift. So stay centered, tight abs. Exhale. extend and in. Keep that core tight. Switch and in. Let's try one more each side. And switch. Move your hands to the front of the mat and feet to the back. Push yourself to downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Pick up that right leg. Pull it down into the opposite elbow. Keep that leg off the floor. Back up, down, up, and down. Back up, and return that leg to the floor. Big breath in. Exhale. Other leg up. Pull that knee in. Do your best to keep that leg off the floor. Tight core. Now remember, if you find that that's way too intense, hold your downward facing dog. Just lift a leg and then the other. Just play with it. Push to downward facing dog. Take yourself to plank. Bring your right leg in. Take it out. Left leg. And out. Drop your knees wide. Down into child's pose. Big breath in. And again. Walk it in. And bring the knees together. Up onto your knees. Bring your hands back to the top of the glutes. Pull the elbows together. Shoulder blades together. Let's do a little bit of a camel pose. Looking way back as far as you can. Gently push those hips forward with your hands. And again, try and pretend that there's something attached to the sternum, pulling you up and away. Really work on the extension of that spine. Bring it back to center. Hands down in front. Round up to cat. Release. Round up to cat again. And release. Cross the ankles. Sit back. And extend your legs. Staff pose. Shoulders over the hips, legs as straight as possible. Big breath in. Exhale. Take your shoulders up, back and down. Place your hands behind you. You're going to lift yourself into reverse plank. And you want to drive those toes to the floor as best as possible. If this is as far as you get, beautiful. Work with it. Tighten your glutes and just try and push up more and more each breath. Remember to keep breathing and avoid holding your breath. Slight bend to the elbows so we're not using a lock joint to hold us. And then lower yourself down. Reach for the shins, ankles or the toes depending on your range of motion. And walk it back in. Some people prefer to do reverse tabletop. So bring your feet in, lifting up. And again, reverse tabletop, try and get those hips in line with the knees. Arms extended, slight bend. Tighten up those glutes. Squeeze strong from the back. And release. And again, extend. Grab through the shins, ankles, or the toes, whichever works best for your range of motion. Walk it back in. Stack the vertebrae. Bring those heels in. Now find your sits bones on the floor. And lean back. Now remember to keep that back flat, not to round onto your sacrum. It's still a great workout, but neutral spine is just a little bit more effective. Well, maybe a lot more effective. Two more breaths. One more breath. And then one vertebrae at a time, pull that belly button to the spine, down onto your sacrum, and roll yourself down. If you have to assist, grab onto those thighs. Once you're through that stuck spot, depend on that abdominal area. Again, bring the heels in, head down, and lift yourself up to bridge pose. Now keep the knees fairly close together, so not here. And again, hips up as high as possible. Making sure the heel's taking energy, but also the ball of the foot. If you want to add a little bit of intensity, arms up rather than here. If you prefer to be here, great. Squeeze through the backside. Keep that knee, hip, shoulder area as straight as possible. If you want to intensify it again, you can sneak out a little bit. Put the heels down and pull the top of the toe balls of the feet off the floor. And again, a little bit more intense. One leg up and switch to the other. And again, those are just options. You can stay here the whole time through that if you prefer. Squeeze those glutes, push the hips upward. Two more breaths. Set that butt back down on the floor. Extend the legs a little bit. Hands up above the shoulders, take a big breath in. And roll yourself up. Now again, if you have to, grab on, pull yourself through that stuck spot. Extend the legs, keep the hands directly in front of the shoulders, and roll back down. Just once, and roll back up. Keep those hands in front of the shoulders. And that's it. Take a deep breath up. Exhaling in. Deep breath again. Exhaling in. Happy yoga practice.